So we get to my cousin's house, and I'm over there freaking out, and they're telling me, with the V2K, like it turned from, actually after I left my apartment, it turned from a hateathon to like an action sequence movie. And they were telling me that they wanted me to go do stuff, like they were wanting me to tell me they wanted me to call people up and tell them crazy stuff, and they were flooding my head with memories of stuff that I didn't even know what happened, like crazy stuff, like whole nother video stuff that I will talk about on this channel. Like this channel is definitely gonna dive deep because the targeting that I've experienced was crazy. So I get over at my cousin's house and I'm start freaking out. Now I'm on level 20. Before I was on level 10. Now I'm on level 20. I'm bugging out, and I keep hearing people outside. Like there was nobody outside, but I kept hearing people outside. I kept hearing cock guns. People was calling my name. Now it's people that I don't know, and it was kind of like an action movie. Like I don't know, like let me think of a scene, like the scene from The Matrix, where he was at his computer desk, and he was like run outside or hide, duck under the desk, and get it. It was kind of like that, like how the V2K was kicking in heavier and harder and heavier, and they were saying, "Oh, we're gonna come and kill you," and da da da. And my cousin bugged out. He was like, "Yo, man, I can't do it." Like, he called my brother, like, "Yo, you gotta take Next out of here. He's wilding out." So my brother came back, took me to the hospital this time, and I really started freaking out. Like the voices was telling me, if you go to the hospital, we're gonna kill you. You're gonna die. Nah, nah, nah. Like, and it was like responsive to my thoughts. Like I didn't even have to say nothing. Like I was sitting there freaking out, and everything that I was thinking, they would respond to it. Whoever they was, and it was like a mass of people, like they were taking shifts, like they had wherever was going on, and like it was like I could not actually physically see it, but it was something that I felt inside, like like somebody is sitting somewhere, like a kind of like a radio station, like how they have the room where the DJs sit in there and they talk on the mic and they play music, and it was kind of like that, but it was evil. It was like these people were attacking me, like with the V2K, like it was crazy. So my brother took me to the hospital, and I was freaking out, man. Like he was like, he had to convince me to go into the hospital. I didn't want to go. The voices kept telling me that they were gonna kill me. Um, we get into the hospital, um, and he was trying to explain to them what was going on, and I was like sitting there bugging out, like I couldn't even sit still. There, and the voice was like, "You see the nurse over there with the such and such?" And I looked over, and it was a nurse over there with whatever that voices was saying. She's gonna kill you with the such and such, and it was like, it was so intense. Like I never been through anything like that in my life. I mean, it was next level crazy. Like oh my god, that V2K, that. So I'm sitting there, and then they told, I don't know what my brother told the doctors that was in there, because I was like, the V2K was going too crazy. Like the V2K was going way too crazy. Um, what happened was, all I remember, like looking back on it, because this was 2010, I think 2011, 2010. I remember getting cornered. They cornered me in the hospital room, and it was a tussle. You know what I mean? Like I was like throwing them off of me, and they called in more. I think the cops was called. They strapped me down to like a gurney. They strapped me down, locked me into the what was that, like a hospital bed or something. And I'm just strapped, and I couldn't even move. And I'm like, and I'm like going crazy. Like I was bugging out. Like I remember looking up and seeing my brother, and he was looking at me, and he was crying. Like that's how serious the situation was. He was like in tears. He couldn't believe that. Like he thought I was just bugging out and thought I went crazy. And I thought the same thing at the same time. I didn't know what was going on. Now I know what was going on, but back then I had no clue what was going on. So I'm like, you know, and then the doctor comes in with this big needle, bro. Like, doctor comes in. I remember him. I forgot where. Maybe it was on my leg or what. I don't know where they injected me, but they injected me with something. And then I remember just looking at the ceiling, and the ceiling tiles moving around, like. And then I was just out, and they said I was in a coma for 3 days. All right, so we'll be right back. After I take this phone call. They hit me with the needle. Needle was like, I don't know, man, maybe 6 inches. I don't even know. Like, at that point, my insanity level was over 100. Like, it was up. Like, the things that I heard, the voices that I heard, again, they were strangers. You know, when it first started happening, because this went on for, I want to say, when the V2K first kicked in, I had been up for 3 days, and it kicked in that day, and it went all through that day and another day. So it was 3 days of V2K, like just straight V2K. So I stayed up 3 days. So I was up a total of 6 days. Okay, so I was up a total of 6 days, up until the point where the doctors hit me with the needle, and then I was out in a coma for. They said I was in a coma for 3 days. So who knows? Like, when that happened, after they put me to sleep, who knows what they did to me? Like, they could have put some kind of technology in me. They could have put a chip in me. And part of me really feel like I've been chipped. I do. I really feel like that, man. And just from all the knowledge and everything that I've been learning about things, I really feel like that at the end of the day. You know, when they gave me the needle, who knows what happened, you know, after 3 days of being in an induced coma. Who knows? I mean, at the end of the day, I really feel like I was checked. They did something to me when I was out. Like, that whole situation was, it was executed. It was planned out. I felt like my ex-girlfriend was in on it. I remember, like, when the voices first started kicking in, before I even said anything to her, the voices started kicking in. We went to Wegmans, and Wegmans is like a grocery store, upstate New York. We went to the grocery store, and that was the actual first time, like, that I can remember people in there, like, GameStop perks. Like, we'd be walking down the aisle, like, you know how they have different aisles for stuff in the grocery store, and she walked off and went her way, and I'm just still freaking out because I'm hearing voices, but I didn't really say nothing about it. And I remember looking, and people looking around, and like, that had never happened. Like, that was the first time, like, they kicked this program in to full fledged, like. And mind you, this was back in 2010, and I have heard voices since then, you know, on and off at different times, depending on different situations, but it never got that intense ever again. I was led to believe that the doctor told me when I woke up I was still in a state of panic. Actually, I had this crazy dream, and I'm going to get into that. I'm going to do another vlog about the dreams and, you know, different, how they do, you know, attacks in your dreams. But I had a crazy dream when I woke up, and I was still like, you know, oh my God, like, you know, I was still a little shaken up, man, and trying to talk to the doctor and tell him everything that I went through, and he didn't even seem like a real doctor. Like I don't know if you guys ever saw Steven Seagal's Hard to Kill, and these people were after him for something that happened, and they killed his wife, and they killed his family, and they thought they killed him, and he woke up in the hospital, and they sent a doctor in there to kill this guy, and he looked just like him, man. I'm gonna find a picture of this guy in the movie and put it on the blog so y'all can see. The doctor that was there for that one moment that I was in the hospital, when I woke up, looked just like this guy. And I'm like, Doctor, blah, blah, blah. I'm like telling him, yo, this and that, this is what they said. And he shut me down. He was like, yo, like he was like, oh, like that let me know that it wasn't right at the same time. Like no doctor talks to their patients like that. No doctor pipes up and you know, you know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. So, he said, like I think he cursed at me. You're effing crazy. He said, you're effing psychotic. Called me psychotic. And that moment, like it burned like a memory in my brain for a long time. Like I ended up writing a song called I'm Psychotic after that happened, after I got released. Because I kept telling everybody, like, yo, man, the doctor did this. Like, the doctor was talking to me crazy. My brother said, yo, you should just write a song about it. That's what I did. I never released it, though. But now that I look back on it, a lot of those songs that I was writing was due to my targeting and things that was going on. But I didn't know. You know, that's a whole nother video right there. So I'm going to end it right here. That was my first V2K experience, and my life has never been the same ever since. If you're a TI, I want to thank you for watching and let you know that God is with you. You are not alone. You're not the only one going through these things. Like I said, that happened back in 2010, 2011, and it's been happening on and off ever since. Just not that intense. So, if you can relate, like, subscribe, comment, and let me know.